back.
So my good friend over in the UK, Bry Grills, if you don't know his channel, you should definitely check it out. Bry Grills here on YouTube. I'll leave a link below. But anyway, he contacted me recently and thought it would be a great idea to kind of do a collaboration video of our day packs. What he carries on a day pack in the UK as opposed to what I carry on a day pack here in the US. I thought it was a great idea and a very timely idea because I have a new day pack here which I just purchased last week, and I'm in the process of putting it together, see how it rides, playing around with different configurations. So I thought I'd show you the pack, what I have inside it, and it would be fun to make the comparison between what I carry and what Bry carries and what you guys may carry. So let's have a look at the pack itself and I'll show you what's inside.
So here in the UK things are generally pretty safe. So the stuff that we would take for a day hike will vary quite a lot from what people in other places like the USA would take for theirs. Now, one of the key differences is, for instance, we don't have bears in the UK, thankfully, and we don't need to carry bear spray. We don't have any major predators here, so we don't have to carry firearms or any mace or any of that sort of thing. It's generally pretty safe, so we haven't got to worry so much about protection from predators or wild animals as such. Really what we have to worry about is the rain, because it rains all the time in the UK mostly. So, you know, I'm lucky today. I'm lucky I've managed to find a sort of reasonably dry day. But, so I'm going to just talk you through some of the things I've got in my backpack. Okay, I'm on a short day hike. I'm not going to be out all day. I'm not going to be going for mega miles. I'm pretty close to the car. I'm close to the trail. There's people pretty close, really, within a few miles. So I'm not in any sort of real danger. Do you know what I mean? So what I've got is I've got my trusty old high-vis backpack. I bought it off of Amazon. I needed it for something else originally, but then I've repurposed it as I've started to hike more and more. So it's got a handy little double zip arrangement there. I don't know if you can see that, it's not very good, is it? But anyway, so what have we got in the bag? So in my bag for a day hike in the UK, that's the tripod case, don't worry about that. I've got my camera bag with me. It's just a JVC. I haven't got a JVC camera anymore. And in here I've got my battery pack there for charging up my phone and my camera, that sort of thing. And in the front pocket I've got the power lead and some other bits and pieces. What I've also got is a memory card. I don't know if you can see that, a memory card adapter. There was a time I was quite lucky recently. I'd forgotten to eject the memory card from my PC from one of my previous outings, and I've neglected to put it back in my camcorder, and I got out here, oh no, I've forgotten my memory card. So what I did was I got the memory card from my phone, and the little micro SD ones, popped it in the adapter, popped it in the memory card slot on my camera, and I had some storage, because I never go anywhere without my phone. That's the way it is. So that's a camera bag. Today I've got, this isn't actual mineral water anymore. I had the bottle indoors. It's 1.5 litres of tap water from indoors. I've repurposed this bottle, that, you know, helping the environment and everything. Let's go through the main compartment first. So I've got my Inferno stove, and in there's a lighter, a little clipper lighter. I'll make sure that lighter stays, my Warrior Princess lighter, and I'll make sure it stays with the stove at all times, so I never use that lighter for anything else. Now, because I've got a stove, I'm going to need some gas. This is the Coleman C500 performance gas, as long as it burns. I've got to get a new one of these actually. There is a website I use and they're quite cheap, but it's only in the UK though. It's cpc.co.uk and they sell all kinds of things, but this is it's at a good price at the moment, so I'm going to get on to it. I shouldn't procrastinate, but that's the way it is. So that's my gas for my stove. I've got my silicon pop-up kettle for the brew that I'm going to be having very soon. There's a kettle over there. Now, because I'm such an experienced professional hiker, I bought some Nice biscuits. I bought 2 for £1, and the other pack I left in the car. I thought I'm not going to need a whole 2 packets of biscuits to dunk in my coffee. What else? Naturally, you've got to have a mug. It's the Pound Shop Special tent camping mug, so we've got that. I've got my fire steel, just in case, because you never know. I'd like to leave it in there. I want to make a pain in the arse. Look at that. Just a few strikes there, you might get a fire, you might not. Depends how good you are. Now I can't put it away, look. Because I'm such a pro, I can't even put my own fire steel away. Of course, that's, you know, having a lighter with me is a good idea too. I've got a couple of knives. Power lead, another one. That's loose actually, I don't know why that's loose, let's pop that over there. Got me knife, a couple of knives, fishing knife, and I do like this knife. I bought it a couple of years ago. It's a very nice knife for eating and stuff. I'll pop that back in its handy little sheath. It's a good word. What else have we got? We've got some Nescafe 3-in-1 coffee. Doesn't really matter about the brand, as long as it's coffee flavoured water, it doesn't really matter. I've actually got 4 of them. I stopped in the shop on my way out and I bought a new pack. And I've got a teaspoon for stirring it all with. Actually, I've got a couple of teaspoons. I'll have to drop one of them off indoors. Half a pack of cocodamol painkillers in case I get a headache. And some micropore tape just in case I cut myself. So that seems to be that. Oh, and a pen, a Bic pen, just in case. I don't know, I need to write something down, I suppose. So that's that. Now what I've also got is a spare phone. Now I've got in one of the other pockets, I've got my phone, the Galaxy S5, and I like to carry my old S4 just in case, because you never know, you could break your main smartphone. And what I've done with this is I've actually installed a flashlight, a beacon flashlight, and the Geo Tracker app. Now this beacon flashlight, it's just got regular flashing, rapid flashing, like that, or it's got the handy SOS mode. It's just, you know, it's got the handy SOS mode, or it just lights up. He says it just lights up, so it's handy to have a spare, just a bit of a backup. Now what I've done is I've plugged that into charge, as you can see with the power lead there, and I've put that in the other pocket, because on the other side I've got my super duper lighty up battery pack. Now that lights up super bright, dim, flashing. I don't know the point of the flashing, or it's got the SOS mode, the whatever it is. I can't remember whether it's the 3 dots and the dashes. Well, anyway, it's got the SOS mode anyway. You can see I'm a true professional. So I'm going to pop that back in there, and then literally all I've done is just across the front of the bag, I'll just run the lead to the other pocket because I didn't want to risk damaging the phone. So I'll just tuck that back in there. So the lead just runs across the front. It's no big deal, it's out of the way. And that's it. That's all in the UK, because it's a very safe country. So so that really is it. I've got a brew. I've got stuff for a brew now. So I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Just get it all together and have a nice cup of Nescafe 3-in-1 original coffee. So thanks for watching.
Before we dive in, for those of you who are interested, the total weight of this pack and all of my gear, everything I'm carrying with me today, is a little bit over 16 pounds. It's 16 pounds, 2 ounces, thereabouts. That includes consumable items like food, water, and fuel, and also camera gear. So if you subtract all of that, then the base weight of this pack, with all of the remaining contents, is 9.9 pounds or thereabouts. So it's around 10 pounds without the consumable items added. So this is the Osprey Kestrel 32-liter pack, which I think is a great size for a day pack. I tend to overpack anyway, so my other pack, which I generally carry with me, is a 70-liter pack, and I end up, taking way more stuff than I need. So the first thing you'll see on the pack is I have a hydration bladder. Osprey does this in a very clever way, actually. They have a sleeve here that the hydration bladder slides into, and it's actually on the outside of the pack, so that if your bladder should leak for whatever reason, it'll run down the outside of the pack, and there's a drain hole on the bottom of the pack, so your stuff doesn't get wet, which is quite nice, actually, and it's just makes it easier to remove and to fill. These hip pockets on the hip belt, and in here, this pocket here, and they're quite sizable and they stretch a bit. I've got a small first aid kit, mostly a boo-boo kit. It's some bandages and some medications, burn gel, bites and stings. I've got some duct tape in here, just the basics. And I've got my compass. And that's it for this pocket. Oh no, I've got a couple more of these bite and sting wipes. These are actually quite good. They're made by Technu, and they get rid of the itch right away, or the pain from a bee sting. So on the other side, in this pouch, I just have a couple of snacks. Actually, I should have opened this before I started filming, but I have a couple of snacks here. I've got a candy bar. I never eat candy bars normally, only on the trail. And I've got some honey here for that instant boost. There are two side pockets. They're mesh pockets here. I've got a water bottle with one of these clips, so I could clip this to the top of the pack. It just fits over any water bottle. It's like this silicone material, which is quite handy. So keep extra water there. So I've got 2 liters of water in my reservoir here, and another, I think this is 700 mils, a little smaller than a liter. Yeah, another 700 here. So that's a lot of weight right there of water. On the other side, I had my my tripod tucked into the sleeve. I have a small Gorilla Pod with me today. And there's another elasticized pocket on the outside here, and in this pocket I keep my mosquito repellent in a plastic bag so that if it leaks, it doesn't get all over my gear. So that's it for the outside of the pack. Let's have a look at what's inside. So there's a pocket on the top of the pack. It's not a very big one, but I keep some small items in here. I have my collapsible silicone cup I really love this thing. It's been everywhere with me. It's great for hot and cold liquids. I like using these because I don't like drinking hot liquids out of metal containers, because with these you don't burn your mouth at all. With the metal containers you have to wait until it's cool enough to drink, and then by that point you lose temperature fast, especially in the winter. So these have a better insulating effect in my opinion. I have a space blanket for emergencies. Even though this is a day pack, you'll see that I have a lot of things in here which would get me through a night if I get lost or lose track of time and have to spend a night out here. It would probably be one of the worst nights of my life, but it would be doable. I also have some wipes here. Cleanliness on the trail is important. So here I've got an Anchor charger. It's 10,500 milliamps, and it's one of those fast chargers, so it'll charge your smartphone a lot faster than the non, I forgot what the standard is, Qualcomm 3 or something like that, but that's what I use for charging my phone and my cameras. I put these down here. I've also got one of these off mosquito repellent, I don't even know how to describe it. It's got a fan in it. You put a cartridge in here. This slides. You put one of the cartridges in here and you turn it on by sliding this over, and it just slowly releases. It kind of gives you a protective cloud of mosquito repellent. It uses this kind of refill. I usually use it when I'm like sitting in one spot for a bit. I have a pair of gloves. Always good to have gloves. You're dealing with knives and fire and things like that. Headlamp. I've got two flashlights with me actually. This one, and I've got this one in my pocket, which is a little stream light. I think it's 45 lumens, but it's very, very bright, very good light. And this one, for hands-free operation on your head, quite good. And that may be it for this pouch, yes. So now let's have a look at the main compartment. One of the features I like about this particular pack is that it's not a top loader. It actually opens up quite large from the side here, almost like a clamshell, so you can really access all of your gear easily, and it just makes it very convenient. So right off the top, I've got a mosquito netting for my head for when the critters get really bad, and I've got this sitting pad here. I don't always use it for sitting, sometimes for kneeling. It's great. It only weighs about an ounce, so it's not really a hardship to carry with you. And here I have my food bag. Not really sure whether or not to show the individual items. Why not? So these are the items in my food bag. I've got some jerky, sweet and sour pork entree, and the rest of it's basically kind of a brew kit. Got a couple of 3-in-1 Nescafe coffees. Coincidentally, looks like same brand Bry was carrying. I've got some green tea. I've got some 3-in-1 green matcha tea, extra sugar, some tea, and a packet of lemon juice. I like tea with lemon. So that's the contents of my food bag for today's day trip. Have a look at what else we have here. So this is a plastic bag. It's just got my rain poncho in it. It's not going to rain today, but you never know. I also carry a cup with a Esbit stove. I've got 30 feet of power cord. This is the one with the fire starting strand inside. So basically the idea is you pull out the inner strand, and it's waterproof fire starter for difficult situations. I've got my fire kit here, which is basically matches, a lighter, tinder, homemade kit from an old pill bottle. Some plastic bags to take out my garbage. Got some foil here, and I'll just use this for boiling up some quick water with the Esbit stove for, a cup of coffee or tea. Put these back here. Further down, got my trusty jute twine. Got my Baco knife today. Spade. I've got my trusty contractor bag cut open. Use it as my ground cloth. Been using this for years. Same one. Again, even though it's a day hike, I have a bivy bag in here in case I do have to spend the night. This is the SOL Escape bivy. This is the one that breathes, so that it's windproof and waterproof, but it does let your perspiration out. In here I have my tarp with poles, so I can set up my shelter. Not poles, stakes. This is my water purification kit. I'll show you what's in here momentarily. My jet boil, which I love. And my trusty REI stool. It only weighs a pound. And you know what? I like to be comfortable when I'm outdoors, so a 1-pound stool is really no hardship. I'll show you now what's in my water purification kit, and then I'll just spread everything out and give you one last look before I put it all back. So this is my water purification kit, consisting of Aquamira water treatment drops. These are great. Chlorine dioxide, which is effective against bacteria, protozoa, and viruses. So it kills Giardia, Crypto, E. coli, everything that you don't want in your system. I also have a Sawyer Mini or cleaning syringe. The straw that comes with it, so I can drink directly out of a stream. The good thing about the Sawyers is that it'll fit right on the top of my water bottle. This is a top to a smart water bottle, which, if I should lose the syringe, fits nicely to back flush the filter. I've got some water purification tablets. I've got a Platypus 1-liter bottle, which I use to collect the dirty water with, and this can screw right on top of that, or I could use the drops or the tablets. This is an oven bag for cooking, chicken and turkey and things like that. These things are great. They're strong, they're lightweight, and I can even, if I keep it above the flames, I could boil water in here to purify it, because they're oven bags. They can withstand temperatures of up to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So great little thing to have. Very, very lightweight. Got a couple of twist ties with it if I have to carry the water. So let's have a quick overview of everything here, and then I'll put it all back. Here's just a recap. The seating pad, the mosquito netting, food, small cook set, jet boil. This is my rain jacket, bivy bag, water purification, tarp, chair. I've got my trekking poles over here, and that's it. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little tour of what I have with me today. Don't forget to check out Bry Grills. Link is below. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next one.